No?
You are now listening to LauerRoadRadio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRoadRadio.
Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. What? Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRoadRadio.
Let's get it. What?
At Tanagra when the walls fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason. How you doing today?
Very, very good.
Yeah?
I sent you a picture the other day of me holding a can in a movie theater.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
How did that go?
I actually didn't open it because
Missed opportunity.
I know. I ended up buying a fountain drink. And I'm like, I don't want to waste this can because I'm going to drink it.
It's not
later.
wasting the can if all you did was open it.
Well, the other thing is, like, it was us and one other person.
Yeah.
It was a matinee in Marion.
Yeah. Well, give that one other person a story to tell.
I think it'd be better in a crowded theater.
Yeah, it's definitely better in a crowded theater. So if you don't know what we're talking about, my favorite sound in the world is the sound of a can of pop opening in a movie theater. And it's amazing because it's such a foreign. It's like, what the? Where's that? Like, it's just not
right.
You're just not. You're used to hearing all sorts of stuff. Phones going off, people
yeah.
talking, coughing, sneezing, babies crying, farts. Like, there are lots of other sounds that would be like, okay, but I see it, whatever. But when you hear a can of pop, which is a very specific sound, there's nothing analogous.
No.
To a can of pop being opened.
It can only be that.
It can only be that. And when you hear a can of pop being opened in a movie theater, it's like, what? Who walked in here and did that?
What redneck?
And I always do it. And the best time to do it, well, if you don't want to be like noticed, you wait for an action part when it's
loud
just
noises.
loud and then no one can hear it. But I like to do it when it's like about 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, when people have kind of like forgotten that they're in a movie theater, they're just so engrossed in the movie that they just like they're in it, you know? And so I get about 5 to 10 minutes in, so that, all of the rustling and moving around has finished. And then I wait for that absolute quiet moment and open it up, and it takes everybody out of the moment. And for about the next 10 minutes, they just are just kind of disheveled,
It's great. It's fantastic.
It's a wonderful thing. Yeah. I think we should start a revolution in which everybody does this.
Yes.
So that in the future,
it's like popcorn.
Every movie we should make a rule that it's just that once it happens once,
then nobody can open their
then
pop.
You've broken the seal, literally and figuratively. I don't know.
Or what if everybody tried to time it up at the same time?
Oh, right.
Or it's like, listen.
So that would be the thing to do. Like for the next whatever, like Marvel movie.
You set a 5-minute. When you see the trailer, you set a 5-minute timer.
5-minute countdown from.
And no matter what part in the movie it is.
Yeah, everybody at once. That would make me very happy.
People, can you imagine a crowded theater? Everybody. It'd be even more fantastic if, everybody's in on it, except for, 1 or 2 people. I'm like, what in the world? You're looking around. What in the world?
I think,
what is going on?
For maximum effectiveness, because the timer, it could be off just a little bit. But for maximum effectiveness, you maybe have, a trigger in which somebody sneezes.
Okay.
And everybody knows after the sneeze.
Now, there is a moment when... And it didn't happen this last time. I'm pretty upset about. Mm-hmm. But when the trailer is over and the lights darken.
Yes.
Because that's a pretty specific...
Yeah, that is.
The lights darken.
Right after the Dolby...
No, not for opening.
Yeah,
for the 5-minute countdown.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
5 minutes from the lights darkening.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good. And if you're off, once you hear the other cans opening, you're right there.
I mean, there's going to be a window,
Oh, man, I want to make that happen.
That would be fantastic.
I want to make that happen. I mean...
Honestly, listen, I know nothing about TikTok. I it's owned by China. I don't know. Stella watches it. I don't know. I don't know what TikTok is.
She would, yeah.
It's what a clock does. Mm-hmm. But from what I do know about TikTok, there's challenges or videos that
Wow. I mean, you sound so old right now. I mean, you're old, and you sounded old, but that, like, I don't know what it is, but there's like, I don't know, it's like challenges or...
I don't know if challenge is the right word.
Yeah.
It's like a video that people duplicate.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Is that a challenge? What is that called, Stella?
Yeah. She doesn't care.
It's a video that everybody like does.
I mean, she knows what it is, but she doesn't want to acknowledge the fact that you know what it is. Mm-hmm.
But that should be like Pop Can Movie Theater Challenge.
Yeah, that'd be fabulous.
Yeah. #
the more you can
Pop
get in.
Can Movie Theater.
Like, I wonder, whatever the next like big movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
We pre-buy like 25, 30 tickets. And get all of the LauerRoadRadio family, to come. Everybody smuggles in a can of pop.
Yes.
And we do 5 minutes from the darkening, and everybody does it at the same time.
Yeah.
That would make me so happy. It would be such a
we have a childhood
moment.
memory from going to watch Ninja Turtles as... I mean, we were 2nd and 3rd grade.
That movie came out in 1990, I think, maybe 91.
Yeah, so I'm 10, 11 years old. Mm-hmm. So like 3rd grade, 4th grade, something like that. And we went to Delaware, and Delaware at the time, it still kind of is a college town. Mm-hmm. And this movie theater that we went to was loaded with college kids. Mm-hmm. I mean,
man, what a great movie!
When I was a kid,
I know I was talking about this movie last week, but that movie's great.
It holds up.
Definitely holds up.
But I remember there's lots of chatter before.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like 2 or 3 rows of college boys. And at the time, I'm thinking these are adults. These are full-grown adults.
The coolest people we've ever seen.
The coolest people ever. Mm-hmm. I mean, now they're 18, 19-year-old snot-faced kids.
Yeah, they're nerds. They're going to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What are you doing? Bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I hear one guy go, 3, 2, 1, and they all at the same time go, "Shut up!"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
I mean, as a kid, I just thought that was like so cool. Mm-hmm. It's like, what is going on? This is fantastic. There's energy in the theater.
I like that.
Yeah.
I should start that because
the shut up or the pop can.
The shut up thing. The pop can I already do. Have you ever told somebody to be quiet in a movie theater?
No. I've done the look behind.
I know the look behind.
Okay, I've done the look behind.
I do the look toward. You know what I mean? I don't look at them. You know what I mean?
I flat up. You
give them the eyes.
Yeah, I give them the eyes.
I do more of a concern. Oh, I wonder if anything's wrong back there. You know what I mean? Kind of that look. You know what I mean?
I give the evil eye.
But most people don't. Has the evil eye worked for you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Has it ever backfired?
Never. So, usually we see movies in Marion and Mansfield. Mm-hmm. Pretty safe environment.
Sure.
We're not going to the ghetto to watch movies. Mm-hmm. If I was in the ghetto watching a movie and people are talking behind me, go ahead and talk.
You know what?
It's fine.
Whatever you got to do.
I didn't want to hear the movie anyways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Yeah.
We went to a midnight showing of the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. It was opening night of Lord of the Rings.
Was I with you?
No.
Okay.
It was. I was married, so it was Eric and I.
Shelby and I saw Lord of the Rings with you and Erica. It might have been your second time.
I was your second time. Okay. I convinced you to watch it because I loved it so much.
Okay.
So we saw it, and there was a group of people going to it. Mutual friend of the show who gets mentioned more than he ought to. But Jad called me up, said, "Hey, we're going to this midnight showing. Do you want to come?" I said, "Sure." And of course,
listen, Jad's the king of the midnight showing.
Jad loves the midnight showing. I used to go to so many movies with Jad. There was a dollar movie theater.
Yes, I remember
in Tulsa that Jad and I would go to once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week. And we had how the opening, they always have different openings for movie theaters.
Yeah.
And this one had a bucket of popcorn that was dancing around singing and candy bars dancing in the background. And it was a whole, a 2-minute song. And Jad and I knew every lyric to the song and would stand up and sing it along with it. Cinematic fun fanatics never had it so good. It's always showtime in Hollywood. And we sang it. During the movie. Well, anyway, so this is not the dollar movie theater. This is the upscale Tulsa movie theater.
Yes.
And we're going midnight.
The IMAX.
Yeah, I think it was. And so it was midnight showing. Did you know Bill Hader worked at that movie theater?
At the same time we were there?
I mean, I did the math. He might have taken your ticket.
Wow.
As a high school
exciting.
kid. Yeah, I know. I know. If I had a time machine and I could go back to the moment I met Bill Hader, I could be like, one day you're going to do a killer Alan Alda impression, and it is going to knock my socks off.
You know MASH? You've seen MASH, right?
You've seen MASH. You're probably familiar with it?
I mean, you're going to totally do that.
You should start working on that now because that's going to really pay dividends for you. So, anyway.
My favorite MASH SNL is from Bill Murray. Because suicide is painless.
That's a different time in comedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was a different.
Very different.
But Bill Murray
drilled it.
Nailed it.
Bill Murray.
Bill
Murray.
Hader. Bill Hader. Anyway, Tulsa.
Yeah.
Midnight showing.
Yes.
Jad.
Yeah.
So, if Jad calls me to say, hey, we're going to midnight showing.
Yeah.
When he says we're going to a midnight showing, that is up to 50 people that he's called and talked to.
More. Okay. An average over under would be about 20. It could be 18, 19, could be 35.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was a lot of people.
Yeah, there always is with him.
And they all know Jad, So,
Jad's like the most famous, unfamous person I know.
I used to meet people all the time in Tulsa that would start talking about somebody.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, are you talking about Jad? Yeah. Have you met him? I'm his roommate. Really? I've never even heard of you. Like, yeah, that's fine. But I mean, yeah.
I told you about the time I saw Jad at the vintage stock. He was leaning over looking at CDs.
Vintage stock is
it's like a
secondhand store, but a little nicer
multimedia
version. Yeah.
At the time, cassettes, CDs, things like that. And he was leaning over looking at the CDs. And I was with my wife. And I said, that's Jad.
Yeah, because he was there all the time.
All the time.
It
was right beside the Dollar Theater.
It was like it was right beside the Dollar. It was his favorite place.
His favorite place.
Go to Vintage Stock, go to a Dollar Theater.
Yeah.
He walks out of there with 3 CDs, a movie scene, and he's only down $5.
And he worked at Papa John's, so he's got a free pizza coming too. So anyways, I see him, and I Shelby, hold on. And I went up and I smacked him on the
right
butt.
thing to do, because he doesn't like that.
Hard as I could.
He does not like to be touched in the butt.
Pops up really quick, looks at me.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jad. It was not Jad.
And you hit him hard.
I hit him hard.
Oh, no.
I'm like, dude, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I thought you were someone else. Oh, okay.
That guy probably got serious counseling.
Now, what's great is he's got a story.
Oh, he's got a great story.
He's got a great story.
I was in Vintage Stock. I was looking at some John Mellencamp CDs. All of a sudden, somebody smacks me on the butt as hard as
it's ever happened.
Yeah, no one's ever hit me that hard before.
I mean, it'd be assault.
And
he can file charges against me.
And he was all like, sorry, I thought you were somewhere else. So we go to this midnight showing. And, the movie's packed because it's the opening night of this big movie.
And half of them are with
Jad.
Yeah.
We're sitting, I remember we're sitting back row kind of towards the right. And there's a couple, a guy and a girl, who are obviously either dating or he wants to date her at the very least.
Yeah.
He's very, and the entire movie for the first hour, he was just giving her the background to the Lord of the Rings things.
Yeah.
Oh, this is because Tolkien, when he was doing this, and that's what that is. Those are orcs. So orcs actually come from humans and elves together, and they were under the mountain. But and he's this guy, and he's super obnoxious,
comic book guy.
And so eventually,
he probably spent time at Vintage Stock too.
He probably worked there. So eventually, my wife gives him a real good shush. A shh.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretty much stopped.
That's 100% your wife.
Yeah, I'm glad that she's that way because I wanted him to shush.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the intestinal fortitude to make it happen. So, he was a jerk and he should have been shushed. Actually, he should have been escorted out of the movie theater. I'll say this. Anybody that's talking in the movie theater more than just a lean over one time, and say, that's hilarious, or something like that, like a little thing, should be escorted out of the movie theater, and their money should not be refunded them.
Yes.
And they should, if that happens to them 3 times, they should never be allowed back into the movie theater.
Yeah.
Or maybe under like a muzzled situation. You know what I mean? Like a movie theater muzzle in which you can't
That would
talk.
be fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a shock collar.
Do you want to be muzzled
Every time they talk,
or would you like me to ask you to leave? You can leave or you can be muzzled.
I think a shock collar.
Shock collar would be even
Every
better.
time they talk.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Rude people in movie theaters.
like opening up a pop can.
No, that's different. That's different.
That's for comedic
There's
purposes.
a different one is one thing, but like a whole like conversation, and then it's phones ringing. Oh yeah,
Oh, that's...
no, I could talk. Oh, no, I'm in the movie. No, I'm watching it now. No, I could talk. Yeah, I mean that's whole
the
thing.
worst.
It just makes me so. It's like visceral. Like I'm so angry.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna do anything about it.
Yeah.
It'll just ruin the movie experience for me. What kind of person would do that?
We were in a movie once, and the whole family was there. Teddy was probably 3.
Okay.
I mean, he was really young, maybe 2. He had just started talking. He was probably 2. He was talking just a little bit. And we went to go see Jurassic World. And
it's funny because I have a Jurassic Park 3-year-old.
Okay, well, let me get mine.
Okay.
Let me get mine. And there's a point in the movie where this fish dinosaur comes up and like snatches something, and the movie's quiet after he snatches it. You know, there's a point, and Teddy's like, "A fish dinosaur,"
yeah,
and like you got some chuckles going around.
Yeah,
And then at the end, it was like the T-Rex, coming after. He's like, "Oh, it's a big dinosaur."
Yeah.
I mean, he just loved it. you know? So, I mean, if a kid is there...
Well, like 1 or 2 things, but then it's also your responsibility as a parent. Hey, bud, come on, man. Like,
which is what we did.
Of course, yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yes.
I would not be upset about that at all.
That's proper parenting.
Yes. But just like giving your kid, a box of pixie sticks and letting them run around back and forth, you know what I mean? Like,
or things that crinkle.
Yeah.
Like one of my least favorite noises is this from a water bottle.
Yeah, it's not a great sound.
I hate it. I hate it so bad. My kids do that all the time. Like, stop. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose. I don't think they are. They just like noise.
Sure, yeah. And you like silence.
I love silence.
It's golden. I love silence.
Okay, so I've got the silence thing leads into my first thing. Do you want to do your...
Yeah, I just remember going to see the movie Jurassic Park. And as I was like walking to my theater, there was another one that I was passing by that was showing Jurassic Park halfway through, and a 3-year-old kid was running out, and his parents were like running after him, and he's just bawling, just screaming because it's like kind of a scary movie. Yeah, and I remember thinking, I don't know, maybe don't take your 3-year-old to see that.
Oh, my 3-year-old loved it.
Teddy obviously was very, by then calloused to all sorts of violence and that sort of thing.
Listen, it's dinosaurs.
Listen,
what do dinosaurs do? They eat people.
Well, I don't think a dinosaur has ever eaten a person.
You're wrong. Happened all the time.
Oh, really?
Before the flood, dinosaur and man walked side by side.
You're one of those Ken Ham guys, aren't you?
The Earth is about 6,000 years old.
That's an interesting theory.
Maybe up to 9. I mean, there's some...
there's some wiggle room.
There's a little bit of wiggle room. The Earth is very, very young.
Okay.
The Grand Canyon was carved out in a matter of seconds.
Okay.
It wasn't over a millennia.
Here's my problem, Jason, with what you're doing right here.
Yeah.
I'm
actually very serious about that.
No, I know you're serious. Okay. I have no problem believing that that's a possibility. What I don't like
is the absolute nature
of it. Is the definitive, no, this is what happened. You don't know what happened. This is what happened. When if we were being honest, none of us know.
No, listen. That's what I think happened.
Well, there you go.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows.
So that's the problem. It's these two sides. They're just throwing rocks at each other.
I agree.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could be anything. I really think that. I think the Earth is probably on the younger side. But I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
So listen, let's not get into it because I don't want to do the whole religious thing, but let's go from the beginning to the end, the rapture. Okay?
Okay.
Right? I mean, that's not the end.
How many times do you think the word rapture is in the Bible, Jason, if you had to pick?
8,000. How many?
None.
Okay. So people, it's like this huge thing, the pre-trib, post-trib rapture.
Yeah.
Right?
The real divide in the church is when you go out to eat after church to a Mexican restaurant. Do you pray pre-chip or post-chip?
Oh, post-chip.
You're a post-chipper.
I'm a post-chipper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Listen, our meal hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
We're just snacking.
Uh-huh.
It's like you just had communion at church. You were snacking there.
You literally pray like before and after communion, though. That's like
The whole Listen,
I mean, prayer is
we're
pretty
not making
involved.
this a religious podcast.
We're not.
I don't want to.
But you're a post chipper.
I'm a post chip.
That's a real divide for me.
Now, are you dipping or are you just chipping?
I'm dipping.
Oh, see, that slightly changes it.
Do you just chip? You don't dip?
I'm saying if you just chip, I think you can post chip pray. If you chip and dip, that turns into something of substance. Chips can't make you sick. So why would you bless the chips?
Chips can't make you sick?
These are the Lord's chips.
The Lord's chips, that's true.
Pre-trib, post-trib.
Okay.
Listen, this plays into this.
Okay.
The best thing I ever heard anybody ever say was, I'm pan-trib.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? What is pan-trib?
Oh, man. One of the fans of the show is not going to like what you're about ready to say.
It all pan out in the end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that with the beginning. Like, listen, whether it's 9,000 or 9 billion years old, you know what? Doesn't matter.
Hey,
it really
Jason,
doesn't.
get ready for some YouTube videos to come your way.
From your father-in-law.
Because he used to be a pan tripper, and now
But does it make a difference?
Chipper. What? I don't know. He would tell you it does.
Okay.
And he's got a persuasive
The truth
argument.
is, I don't care.
Uh-huh.
I really don't.
Yeah.
What Earth, beginning, end, Alpha, Omega, beginning and end, whatever. It's all good. Mm-hmm. Okay, my first thing. Do you have something? I mean, we're almost at the Netflix.
I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
listen.
we could. It seems like, I'm sorry. It just feels like we're missing an opportunity here.
For more religious talk.
No, to do the
politics.
the Mount Rushmore of the Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Because first of all, at some point, I don't know when it happened. I don't know where it happened. I don't know how it happened, but I'm glad that it happened.
Yeah.
At some point, we all just decided if you're a Mexican restaurant, El something, me something, whatever, you're going to have free chips and salsa for us. And that's going to be just part of it, right?
This is part of the package.
It's just, I don't know when that happened.
Well, listen,
I mean,
you go to
any other food you buy.
You go to a steakhouse.
Yeah.
You're going to get some rolls.
But I feel like
it's a thing.
I feel like they wait for you to order, though, to give you those rolls. The chips just come out immediately.
At Texas Roadhouse, the rolls come with you.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty quick process.
Well, either way, chips and salsa.
They're at the table before you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They belong on the Mount Rushmore of Mexican restaurants.
Food at Mexican restaurants.
No.
What are we
this
talking
is the Mount Rushmore of Mexican restaurants. So chips and salsa would be one. The other one, I would say, would be sombrero birthday hat.
Okay, yeah.
Where they're going to come out and sing happy birthday to you, and they're going to put a giant sombrero on you while they sing, Feliz Navidad.
That's Merry Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever the Mexican happy birthday.
I don't know what the...
Do you know what it is, Stella?
Happy would be... Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños a Maria. Feliz I remember
Does
that
it have
from
to be a
Spanish
Mexican
class.
name?
Apparently, I can remember lyrics even in other languages.
You've got to... something's wrong.
Something's wrong with me. There's definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know why I can remember what I can remember. Eric and I were just talking about it the other day. We were talking about something, and I said, that is that time in my life. We were talking about summer camp.
Okay.
And when we were young, and Levi was a baby,
Yeah.
and we took him as youth leaders to summer camp with us.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah.
And she remembers
Everything.
all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
There have been songs that she has sung that I'm sure 1,000 times. It's not exaggeration.
Yeah.
She still needs the lyrics in front of her. Why? Her brain works
you hear
the way...
a part of one song, and you know the whole
it's
thing.
just downloaded. I don't know why. Anyway, so sombrero,
Chips and salsa.
chips and salsa.
Okay.
I feel like every...
Tequila or margarita?
I think margarita is more... I don't know. I don't drink, so I don't know what goes with Mexican
I think
food.
let's go margarita.
Okay. I also
Tequila is very
feel
Mexican
like it's like the music.
Oh yeah.
It's Mexican music.
Yeah. acoustic guitar.
it seems like the same song on a loop. You know what I mean? I'm sure they're different songs.
Super racist.
I'm sure they're different songs, but I don't know.
It's like Nacho Libre. You know, when they go to play at the party.
I ate some bugs. Is that one? Is that when he's singing?
No.
What's the girl's name?
Encarnacion.
Encarnacion. Yeah.
Encarnacion.
I ate some bugs. I ate some grass. I used my hand to wipe my tears.
No way, Jose.
Yet to be with you, I break my vows.
Unless
no way, Jose. Unless you want to, then we break our vows together.
Yeah.
So Mexican music.
Yes.
The sombrero hat, chips and salsa,
and the margarita.
And you want to say the margarita?
Yeah. It's going to be a drink of some variety.
Mm-hmm.
It's either margarita or tequila. Mm-hmm. And you're not just doing tequila shots unless you're sitting at the bar, which you could if you wanted. But margarita.
I was going to say funny waiter. Seems like the Mexican...
You're super racist.
What's racist about being funny? I'm pro-funny. Funny's a good thing.
You're laughing with him.
Not like, yeah, no, he's
Not
always like
him.
telling jokes and like goofing around and stuff. And like, you know, it just feels like they have a good temperament. They're always having a good time. The waiters in Mexican restaurants. I'm saying good things about them, Jason.
I mean, that's okay.
I just like their temperament.
Do you have to be Mexican to be a waiter at a Mexican restaurant?
I've seen other nationalities, you know, so I don't think so. I would say the more kind of like whole and like localized the restaurant is, the higher percentage Mexican the wait staff is.
Yeah.
If it's like a national, like I like Condado's tacos.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just like going to an Applebee's, you know?
Right. If it's a chain, it's going to be whatever. Mm-hmm. If it's authentic or a family-owned place, it's going to be Mexican.
Sure.
I think it'd be weird to be served by an Asian at a Mexican restaurant.
As it should be, Jason. And I'm not going to say that that's racist on their part because they won't hire people outside of their own nationality. Some people, I guess, could say that that's racist. But, you know, if that's what they want to do, they're running their business. They should do whatever the heck they want to do.
They can read the menu. We can't.
I just... point. I've never ordered anything at a Mexican restaurant that didn't have a picture associated with it.
That.
I once ordered a chalupa at Mi Jalapeno because I love a Taco Bell chalupa. Turns out what Taco Bell calls a chalupa and what Mi Jalapeno calls a chalupa are two very different things. I was very disappointed. Yeah. I was like, I'm about to eat an authentic chalupa. This is going to be so good. I was so excited. It's not good.
So much, yeah.
Don't order a chalupa. It's a bad idea.
Okay. So listen. Would you rather be able to never speak again or have to say everything that pops in your mind like there is no filter? Because right now, Gideon falls under the latter.
Yes.
There is no filter. Whatever he sees,
there's a movie called Chaos Walking with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley.
Okay.
It's a good movie. You should watch it. I enjoyed it. And in it, they travel. People travel to this planet, and inside the whatever of this planet, you can hear everything the men think. So everything that pops in their head, you can hear it.
Yeah.
Now the women are not that way. Just the men.
Okay.
And so we've had this conversation about, boy, like I do not think I would like that.
Yeah.
You know, which is basically the same thing. It's like that everything pops in your head, you physically say it. So it's
except this is not common to everybody. Just you.
Just you're the only person.
I mean, if it was common to everybody, that might change things.
I feel like if I had to choose one, I would choose the latter. Because I believe that it would take me a few months, but eventually I think I would get better at my just controlling my thoughts.
I don't know. I mean, you walk into Walmart and you see someone huge and their pants are falling and you're like, dude, look at that guy. You know, dude, his crack is showing.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
How
would you not be able to say those things? You can, the moment you see it, you think it.
I just feel like I could learn to control it in a way.
I don't know. I don't think I could.
Yeah. I think
I
it
would
would
rather
take a lot of work.
I would rather never speak.
Really?
Yeah. As the Bible says, better to remain silent and seem wise than open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It also says that it'd be better to live on a house with a leaky roof than with a contentious woman. So.
Is that why you moved?
No, she came with us. And our house was not leaky.
Yeah.
What were we talking
You
about?
moved into that leaky house.
Well, it's not leaking now.
Oh, okay. So you would rather just...
I'd rather say everything I think.
Okay.
And I feel like over time, maybe it'd take a few years.
You would hone in on your thoughts.
Yes, I could control my thoughts more. Because we all control our thoughts to some level. You don't just sit around all day and think about killing kittens or something. You know what I mean? Like now you're thinking about killing kittens.
Yeah.
So, but before that you weren't. So, I mean, we all control our thoughts on some level.
The problem with me is the visual cue. Mm-hmm. So if I'm just sitting on my couch, I'm not thinking about...
You would also be talking all the time.
And Gideon does.
I guess that's the other thing. That's the downer. Is like you could never, like, while you were watching TV, you'd be like, I like that. I don't like that. That's interesting. I wonder why he did that. What's the deal with that? I don't, you know what I mean?
You would have to become brain dead.
Yeah, you would have to learn how to completely
shut it off.
So I guess that would be difficult.
That would be tough.
That would be difficult.
Now, I mentioned this to Stella on the way over, that I was going to bring this up. And she said, this is a very valid argument. She goes, would you have to have a volume level to that? Because what if you could just whisper those things?
I like that. Yeah. That guy is so fat. You need to lose some weight. Boom, ba, ba, boom, ba, ba, boom. Boy, are you fat? Your breath stinks. There's something in your nose. There's a guy behind you with a gun.
You don't smell like Santa. You smell like beef and cheese. So if you could whisper those things, I think that would make a difference. If you had to like shout it,
now if you had to shout it,
then I'm just going to be quiet.
Yeah, I would choose quiet. If I had to shout,
Yeah.
Like if everything I had to yell, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Plus, your voice eventually would cause you to be mute anyway because you'd lose your voice.
You'd be dead. Someone would shoot you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As they should. The other day, I walked out of my building, and I don't know how to say it. I live in an apartment, so it's not my building, but I don't know how you say it. I walked
my building,
the building in which I live. I don't know how to say it, but I walked out, and around the corner, there's this guy with a wife beater, kind of rough-looking dude, and a garbage bag over his back, and he is booking it like he's running like he's in the Olympics. I mean, he's running. Not only is he running like this. He's
like he stole something.
Running like he stole something, Jason. Yeah. And I'm like, it doesn't look so good. So I kind of like, I wasn't like right by him. He was on the other side of the streets, but I kind of like walk forward while he's walking just to see where he's going, you know? And while he's running the corner, something fell out of the bag and he saw it, but then he just kept on running. So then about 30 seconds later, 3 cop cars come from 3 different angles, and behind the building, I don't see it, but I can tell they've got him cornered, you know? And so I'm like, okay. So I walk over there, and there was another guy outside, typical Marion guy. I mean, he's not wearing a shirt, of course. He's got jean shorts on that are unbuttoned, you know? And he's like, they got that bleeper good, man. That little meth head walking around. It's about time somebody did something about him, you know? Like, geez, okay. I was like, but they got him? He's like, oh, yeah, you better believe they got him, man. They got him good. He was walking fast, too. I mean, you see that guy? He was running. And there's some guy just, like, puts his head out of the window. He's like, they get him, man. They get him, you know?
So you moved from the suburbs to that.
Yeah, those are my neighbors. Okay. So,
because where you lived was
very quiet.
Very quiet.
Yeah,
Green yards. Your neighbor's a valedictorian.
Yeah, it was salutatorian. So
same thing. Whatever.
So I'm like, okay, they got him. So I don't need to remember where he went. You know, and police don't need me at this point to like point, hey, he went that way.
What did he drop?
Well, so I went back. It was a steak knife.
Oh gosh.
It was a knife, but it wasn't like a
killing knife.
Well, I mean, you could kill somebody with it. You know what I mean? It was a steak knife. So I'm like, do I just leave that there? Do I put it in the trash? Or do I take it to the police officers?
Yeah.
So
you approach the cop with a knife.
I know. That's and back in an alley.
Hey, come here.
Hey, guys.
Hey guys.
So I went with the well,
Hey Copper.
hey yo,
You want this?
I got something for you.
Hey, come get this. You dropped this?
So yeah. So I decided they would probably want the knife.
Yeah, it's evidence.
Sure. So I say, okay, I'm going to go get it. So I'm walking down the street with this knife now towards these cop cars back in the alley. And I'm holding it. And I'm like, what's the right way to hold this that makes me look the least aggressive?
Yeah.
So I went with scissor safety, although it wasn't, you shouldn't hold a knife like that, I don't think.
No.
But I thought it made me look the least aggressive or threatening. You know what I mean? Like
Did you
holding
have
a knife.
Smile on your
Holding
face?
it by the blade. Holding the knife by the blade. So, but that's what
Because you can't look angry carrying a knife.
No.
If you look angry carrying a knife.
But it's not that much better to look happy, though. You know what I mean? I tried to be nonchalant.
So, like, blank face might be even worse. You're a psychopath. You can't feel empathy.
Yeah. Also, there's like the way like that you're holding it.
Yeah.
There's no good way to hold it.
No.
Either.
No.
I tried to and you don't want to look like you're hiding it
behind your back.
Yeah. Hey, what you got behind your back? A knife, but there's a good reason that I'm hiding it.
Cop comes up behind. He's got a knife.
So you want to make it obvious that you're holding it. Yo, knife here.
It's like if you're in the woods, and there's a black bear. Bear.
Yeah.
Bear.
Except, bears aren't holding guns and have like German shepherds, that. So there's a lot of going through my brain. But I feel like it's my civic duty to deliver this piece of potential evidence to this, So, and like I said, so while I'm walking down the street, I'm having this like, okay, don't look like you're hiding it, but don't look like you're brandishing it.
You could have called like 911. Mm-hmm. I need to find the cops. I got a knife.
Yeah, right. I got a knife for the cops.
I've got a knife for the cops.
So I decide I'm going to hold it. I don't know. Is there a pin in here or something?
I don't know.
I'm holding it like, I end up holding it kind of like sideways.
Wait, hold on. Let me take a key off here.
So if like this is the sharp end, I'm kind of holding it like this, like just kind of walking like this, with my hand out. I'm not waving it around. I'm not hiding it. I'm not holding it in a way that I'm going to stab somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm holding it like this, and then I know I can see the lights in the alley, so I know the cops are back there. And when I turn around the corner, there's 3 cop cars with their lights on, and they obviously got the perp
He's in his car, and you tap it with a knife on the window.
So first of all, I walk around the corner, and they obviously got the perp in the car.
The perp.
And listen, I watched a lot of Blue Bloods, and they obviously have him in the car, and they're going like 3 of the police officers are going through that bag that he was holding, and they're like going through it and stuff, Yeah. So thankfully, when I turned the corner, I happened to know one of the police officers. Okay. So I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad that he's there because he'll see me and he knows me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but they all have their backs turned to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to sneak up on any of them, So what's the right thing to yell from an alley to let them know that you're approaching?
Yeah.
And you have a knife. And their adrenaline's probably running, you know what I mean? Because they've been chasing this guy,
Yeah.
So what will you yell?
Well, you knew the one guy. His name, let's say his name is Jim.
Okay.
Right? Don't you just yell, "Hey Jim, Jim, hey Jim."
Yeah.
And he turns around.
That might have been the right thing to do.
What'd you do?
Well, I thought "hey" would be bad.
Hey!
Hey seems like a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yo.
Yellow.
So I go, it was close. I go, hello. It was probably almost exactly like that. It was the most non-threatening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thing that I could, hello. It was almost the Seinfeld, la, 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 that voice. So I said hello, right? And so they turned, and thankfully the one officer reading, he's like, hey, Dan, how you doing? I was like, good. I was like, saw the guy run around the corner, and when he was turning there on Main Street, he dropped this, and I'm just holding up the knife. And I didn't know if you'd want it, know? And he's like, and thankfully, like I said, this guy he's like, that's your knife, isn't it? That's what he told me. Yeah. He's like, you're just, you had that, I was like, you got me, and we were joking about it and stuff, so.
Your fingerprints are on it. What if it was a murder weapon?
Well, see, that's the other thing. So let me finish the story.
If you killed a guy, now you picked up a knife.
Okay, this is another way that you're more like my wife. So I had the conversation with them. We laughed. We had a couple, we had a good interaction. I feel good about it,
Yeah.
I made a big deal about. He's like, thanks, man. I was like, well, I'm just doing my civic duty.
Right.
No big deal. I said, if my name's in the paper tomorrow, whatever. So we had a good laugh.
Yeah.
And then I got a lot of adrenaline still kind of coursing through my veins.
Yeah.
But all of that is done like good. So I turn around to walk back home. And like I said, there's 3 cop cars there. What I didn't realize walking past, and maybe the dog didn't realize, is that in the second cop car is their German Shepherd, who is, I've seen their German Shepherd in action. It is aggressive, and it is a killing machine.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I walked past it, and my head's like this far from the thing, and it must have waited for the last second, and it jumped and slammed into the window, and it was like, and I probably jumped 3 feet in the air. I was like, so I got that going on, and then my phone rings, and it's Abby, and I was like, hello, and she goes, Abby, she didn't say Abby, she said, Mom's phone is dead, and she wants you to come home right now. Because Erica saw me, and Erica's mind, because Michaela saw it happen.
Yeah.
And I guess the way that Michaela communicated is there was this dude booking down the street with a garbage bag, and the cops followed him, and Dad chased him
with a knife.
So Erica's got me, running in flip flops, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
down the thing, and I'm like, cornering the guy, like, hey, you don't want to do this, So it was none of that, and so I was like, give him on the phone, and I was like, listen, everything's fine. I just, I explained it to her. She's like, okay, good. So I get up, and she asked me about it. I tell her, and she's like, you just picked up the knife? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to leave it there, because what if somebody else picked it up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While I was gone and explaining, and then we come back and there's no knife there, and the cop's like, I tell you what, you idiot. You know what I mean? Like, you guys, you always think there's something when there's not.
Right.
So I was like, I gotta bring it. She's like, well, get a napkin or a shirt or something, and now your fingerprints are all over it. I was like, yeah. I didn't think about that. And she goes, we watch Blue Bloods. We should know. So, yeah. So, but thankfully, the guy was caught. I don't think he noticed me, so that's good.
Yeah.
So.
Because he lives in the area. He'll be back.
He's probably one of my neighbors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Apparently, according to the guy across the street who was smoking a cigarette in his jorts.
He's a meth head.
He's a meth head.
No. You're going to hear a lot more gunshots. I'm just letting you know now, because listen, where we live,
I rarely heard a gunshot
at your old place.
In my old neighborhood.
Yeah, no, never. Mm-hmm. You would never hear a gunshot over there. Mm-hmm. At my house, we hear them. We heard them 2 nights ago. Mm-hmm. I told Estelle the other day. I said, "Hey, last night, did you hear a gunshot?" Mm-hmm. She goes, "Was there 2 of them?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, I heard that." Like, I don't know how far away.
Yeah,
but. Hey. Close enough that we can recognize a gun. And listen, there's a difference between fireworks and a gunshot.
Yeah.
You'll hear both in Marion.
Yeah. Well, specifically now, there's fireworks every night.
Yeah. I
was talking to a police officer in our city, and he said my previous neighborhood, Chateau Ridge, very
one percenters.
My previous neighborhood, he told me, he said this other neighborhood on this side of town, he goes, we get called it domestic disputes all the time, all night, all day, constant domestic disputes.
Where you're moving.
Well, closer to where I'm moving. And he's like, we're out there all the time.
Yeah.
He goes, if I ever get a call for a domestic dispute in your neighborhood, I know something happened.
Yeah.
He's like, that's when we get worried.
Right.
He goes, is when we hear that one. He goes, because they don't call the cops, you know.
Yeah.
These other people, they treat us like their personal security, you know.
Right.
So, but no, I never heard a gunshot. And yeah, I've heard multiple gunshots now.
Already. And it hasn't even been a week.
Sure. I don't know. I'm maybe good at distinguishing the difference between fireworks
You'll
and a
figure
gunshot.
it out. There's a distinctive difference.
Yeah.
And it depends how close it is. I mean, we've had, without getting into too many details, we've had multiple gunshots within 100 yards of our back porch. And it's scary. It really is. Marion's not a bad place.
No. It's just a place with enough people that...
With enough guns, you know. Yeah. So...
All right, Netflix suggestion of the week.
This song is so long.
We'll probably end out the episode.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us.
You know the words for this.
Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus.
Oh.
Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube.
No.
Or
I
you
mean,
want to put a box
give me enough time, I might be able to figure it out.
So you never know.
My Netflix suggestion of the week is found on ESPN Plus. Celtics Lakers Best of Enemies.
Is it 30 for 30?
I don't think
30
it's
for 30 like anyway.
Yeah, it's an ESPN film. Doc.
What if I told you?
No, it's not that.
Okay.
They go through it's a 3-part series, and each episode maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It's a good chunk of
They go through the history
content.
of the Lakers and Celtics.
Yeah, it starts back in the 60s.
Back when they were the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah. And right when they moved to LA, there was Jerry West and Elgin Baylor played for the Lakers. Celtics had, Kuzi and Havlicek and Bill Russell and all these guys.
Havlicek stole the ball.
And Boston cleaned house. They beat the
won
Lakers.
Like 10 championships in a row.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the Lakers kept on losing.
And the Lakers were great.
Jerry West and Elgin Baylor are two of the best ever. And they couldn't even touch the Celtics.
Yeah.
And so it kind of tells that whole history. And then in the 70s, things got a little, both teams kind of took a nosedive a little. In the 80s, they both come back up with Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. And it tells that whole story. And it's fantastic. It is really, really good. If you're a fan of the NBA, you'll love it.
Yeah.
Plus, I was watching it with, I guess Harrison was there for a little bit. And he noticed a difference even watching it. It's like, this is different than it is now. It's like these guys hate each other.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was fantastic.
I know.
And
I can't watch the NBA anymore.
I can't either.
I
long for those days.
I tried to watch the NBA. So a mutual friend, Bob Swanger, I ran into him at the gas station the other day, and he's got a friend that's buying box seats, tickets or something to the Suns game, or to the Suns if they make the finals.
Okay.
So he's purchased it already or reserved it. And so he said, if they go, I want you to come to Phoenix and watch it with me. He goes, we're really rooting for the Suns. I was like, okay, so we got a team to root for. So I turned the game on. I haven't watched 1 minute of an NBA game for like...
He wants Bob to go, or Bob wants you to go?
No, I'm not going to go. He wants Bob to go.
Okay.
But I'm rooting for him.
Okay,
So now I got to have a vested interest, So I thought, well, I'll watch it, And I've not watched a minute of an NBA game in years, it's been, since LeBron
was a Cav.
Was a Cav. That's the last time I watched the NBA. And I watched 5 minutes of it. I was like, I just can't for lots of reasons.
Yeah.
Lots of reasons. So I don't even know who won, and I stopped caring pretty quick. For his sake, I hope the Suns win so he can go to the finals and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't watched the NBA. Last year I watched a little bit of the NFL, but it was almost all just Cleveland Browns. Like I didn't watch random games, just the Browns.
Yeah.
And Major League Baseball, I've watched like part of one game.
I watched a decent amount of baseball.
I just
like having it on. I've watched a lot of golf too.
Yeah.
And I watch soccer.
I still watch soccer. Soccer still.
Yeah.
Okay. I just can't stand the politics.
Yeah.
Just stop. Why are you doing this? Like the NFL today or yesterday came out with a gay, like a literal gay. I'm not.
It said the NFL is gay. That was their thing, byline underneath it.
So football has a sexual preference?
Apparently.
Because
I
thought
didn't
it
know
was
football
a
had a
game.
gender.
It's a non-gender. But
so
I don't know.
It did like other football teams, but now it likes basketball teams. No, it did like
it likes baseball and basketball.
It used to like the NBA, and now it only likes like the Canadian Football League.
No, it goes both ways.
No, it said the NFL is gay. I mean, that means it only likes other football leagues.
You're right.
So it likes the European Football League, Australian rules football. I mean, if it's down south,
Rugby?
Win in Australia, you know what I'm talking about.
I just hate it. Like, why do you have to do this?
Because political correctness.
Who said the NFL straight?
Yeah. How dare they?
You're assuming way too much.
You assume too much.
I just can't stand it. It drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
Mm-hmm. Well, my Netflix suggestion of the week, as we stated earlier, I've moved into a new domicile. And
you've got a whole building.
I put up a whole building. I put up the TV. Was one of the first things you do, so that way you can just get on the couch and face the TV and pretend that none of the other mess is there, But so I hooked up the TV, and then we were doing a bunch of cleaning and unpacking all around the house. And so I thought, I'm just going to put a movie on.
Yeah.
And I feel like the first movie shown
sets a precedent
at the house. It's an important decision. It's
Yes.
not just put on whatever. It's an important decision.
Correct.
What's the right movie to play?
The Patriot.
That wouldn't be a bad choice, except my daughters, I don't think, the violence might be a bit much for them. I mean, Michaela could take it. She's a pretty violent person. But Abby, I don't think, would care for it. And I know Erica doesn't.
I would think that would be flipped. I think Abby would be way more
Michaela's scary, quiet violent, like that kind. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I played Rogue One, the Star Wars movie. I love Star Wars, and that's my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah. So that's the movie I put on.
Solid.
And so that's my Netflix suggestion of the week.
Rogue One.
It's on Disney Plus.
I like it. It's good. It's a great movie.
All right. Well, this is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and to never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, boo, boo, sit. I got one other thing to say.
Good dog, I've spoken.
Yeah, and there's not going to be a show next week.
Yes. We'll
be back in 2 weeks.
observing Independence Day.
Freedom from this.
Freedom
We've
from
been
those
doing this
Brits. Man, those guys. The worst.
Yeah. So, happy 4th.
Happy Independence Day.
Yeah. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.